Good morning, guys. Welcome back to iPunt Smart. What a lovely little surprise yesterday with full blast at 25 to 1. Our value bet winning well for the Michael Miller stable with Ashton Harris taking the ride. Today we're looking at Greyville, but on the poly track today, and we start off with the first race. And in the first race, very little separating Reckless Love and Dancing Sword in the rankings for me. In fact, they're both on 2.81, so they could actually be 1 and 1 for the first two on the rankings averages. The third rate is Never Ending Love, the other love, which is Teenage Prinsloo and Ashton Harris. And if the distance is anything to go by, then Never Ending Love at 12 to 1 is no less than 12 lengths ahead of the bat figure. Obviously, that has to be said that the furthest he's gone is the 1400 meters, and the 1000 meters was taken on grass, on a 1000-meter grass. So the Greyville Poly figures is not as good. The 1200 at 8.55, and then we're really getting back to where Reckless Love and Dancing Sword is. So nothing really on the nose for me in this race, and in fact I've loaded up my bipod with 7, 5, 9, 4 and 8. Reckless Love, Dancing Sword, Never Ending Love, Another Love and Bunasha. So I've got all the love I can give here for 3 loves. Never Ending Love, Another Love and Reckless Love. All the loves together to get through the first leg. Moving on. In the second race, doesn't get really much easier. Merit rate at 64, and I've done 5 in my small bipod and 7 in my bigger bipod, because very little separating. The highest ranking average in this race is actually 4.03, so on average everything is actually ranked very terribly. If you look at the size of the field, the best average you can get is a 4.03 on Viking Red, followed by a 4.43 on Sea Sponge on the ranking averages. I'm referring to these JTR detail ranking averages. Showing you here these averages, that's what I'm referring to here. You can see all these averages are extremely high for all these indicators. So nothing standing out here. Straight up the third one, and Secret Dynasty the fourth one, and Cool Apache the fifth one, Fever the sixth one, Stand By Me the seventh one, and King's Cove the eighth one. To be quite honest with you, again an example of something that could be anything really, is Stand By Me, the number 3, because that's got the best bat figures also again over the shorter distance. So again, not a race really that I want to be involved with in backing anything. If you look at the favorite, there's 3 of them, 5.5, 5.5 and 5.5. You can see that it's not really a race to be involved with to back anything on the nose. Instead, I would rather take these numbers here, 6, 11, 5, 2, 12, 9, 3, and maybe play those in a trifecta or a quartet. Moving on to the third race, and here we're short selecting 6 and 9. That's all I have. It Must Be Love, Another Love, and also Indigo Moon, only runner for Muscat, with Donovan Dillon taking the ride. The third one I'd like to mention in this race, and I've added him in my pick 6, is a little bit of a value here. Wave Crest, Duncan Hells and Kumede after the 2.5 kilos now gets tongue-tied 20 to 1 and 1.56 on the bat figures here versus the 0.89 versus the 0. It's 1.5 lengths difference, which is really nothing over the 1200 meters with the 2.5 kilo Epiclaim. Wave Crest, maybe a nice addition to the pick 6. If we're looking for a bomb to get through the first leg, I wouldn't mind if Wave Crest could be that bomb. But Must Be Love, Indigo Moon and Wave Crest, I think should be enough to get you through the pick 6. Otherwise, Captain's Rosie, Austin, Tooth for T, Flying the Star, and Mystery Trip is my next best. In the fourth race is the one I actually like the most. I think there's only two horses really that stands out, which is Go Kitty and Cover My Light, Color of Light. Again, Duncan Howells and Sean Veal here. What I do like about Go Kitty though is Gary Rich has only got two for the day. This is his first for the day. He's also got another one in this race, Arctic Princess. But you can see that the ratings is moving towards Go Kitty and not Arctic Princess, although Arctic Princess is 4.5 in the betting and Go Kitty is 8 to 1 in the betting. Go Kitty has 12 on the green points, which is way superior than anything else, including his stablemate. And the percentages aren't great in any case, in anywhere. The highest being 25% to win on bomb roll 42 days, that is. But if I look a little bit deeper, and I'm taking the ranking averages in this race here as an example, Go Kitty on 3.79, followed by Color of Light on 4.86, and then there's a bit of a gap to 5.62 on the third one, which is Ariano's Spinner, and then the fourth one, which is Arctic Princess, is the stablemate Gary Rich and Stuart Randolph, the stablemate. But something I've picked up here is Gary Rich and Jacobs, they have got together once with the same horse, and the win place on the horse is 100% win, and that is because this Jacobs year on the 1200 at Scottsville, he also out of the blue just came from the run before 50 to 1 back into 22 to 1. Then the next race when Jacobs got some get on board from a 13 draw, he comes 22 to 1 back into 5.25 and boom, wins with a massive change in his bat figures by 10 lengths from a 13 to a 3.58. And that was from a Scottsville 1100 to a Scottsville 1200. Now that same scenario might just unfold here today again, because if I'm looking here at Go Kitty, Stuart Randolph was the rider here, and he got a 0.93 bat 42, which is the best in the field. Gary Rich is clearly in form because his run since his last winner was 1. And now he gets Jabba Jacobs on board again from a very nice number 5 draw on the Greyville Polytrack, which is a lovely little draw. That's why the draw is nicely highlighted in green here. So on the case that Jabba Jacobs was the preferred rider when they did this massive betting coup from a 13 draw 22 into 5, wouldn't be surprised if this 8 to 1 is a very nice price for Go Kitty to do the same today. The backup is Color of Light, and Color of Light has tongue-tie fitter today, Duncan Howells with Veal taking the ride today, and you can see the bat figures, the best here on the blue bat, which is the exact same course and the exact same distance, is a 7.1, and that versus Go Kitty 0.93 is quite a little bit of a difference. That's in lengths, by the way, lengths being 2.5 meters for every length. And then Ariano's Spinner is my next best, third best, Gatsby and Danielson. It has the best adjusted time, best exotic ranking as well. Danielson takes the ride, which is interesting that Veal, that won on Ariano's Spinner previously, moves to Color of Light. But he's my third choice with a bat figure of 2, and then an Arctic Princess I have a little bit better on a 1.7 lengths. As my fourth choice here. So a little bit of an interesting conundrum. If my hunch on Go Kitty is wrong, then there's quite a few that has similar credentials, but I do like the chances of 3.4 for the top 3 places and 8 to 1 for, sorry, not 8 to 1, currently at 13 to 1 on Go Kitty, 13 to 1 at Bet365. So I like a bit of the Go Kitty thing. Moving on to the 5th race, and here I have 3 runners in my bipot. The 5 Seen the Light, the 12 Just a Guy thing, only one of 2 runners for Gavin van Sale with Raymond Danielson taking the ride, and the 8 Pacific Winter, who I've got a little bit of a a note here at the bottom. Just note, everyone can make notes. You just press on this button here and you can make a note about the horse, the jockey, the trainer, the track, or the race. And you can make notes for yourself. I can make notes for everyone to see, such as this one: Pacific Winter, horse shows very decent speed, had bleeding problems, but now being gelded, could improve quite dramatically from year on in. And that was made on the 8th of November 2020. So a bit of respect for Pacific Winter. It's only on his 9th run. Ashton Aries is in wonderful form, and today the horse is getting blinkers and tongue ties fitted. So if I'm looking on that previous 1000-meter Greyville poly run here, he got a 5.05 on the bat figure, and that is a little bit better than just a guy thing on the 5.77. And the Seen the Light did the 6.8 on the blue bat, but he's done considerably better on the grass at Scottville over the 1000-meter. So if I take that grass run out of the way and there's only Greyville poly, then very little between these 6.8, 5.77 and 5.05. But in saying that, I've got an interesting run here in Duncan Hell's Rocket Fire. Based on this run previously, 1000 meters MR70, which was way back in August, 4.07 on the bat. He gets the best exact course and distance bat. And then there's others as well. If Gary Rich can win with my value bet, go kitty kitty, then I'm going to have more respect here for Gary Rich as well, because he now gets 4 kilos taken off, only 49.5, best adjusted time, best speed rating. I like the fact that he got the best adjusted time here, also carrying 49.5. With Gumere was taking the ride, but now he's taking a little bit more, 4 kilos he gets from Brewer. So a little bit of intentions in a different way here from Gary Rich to take the 4 kilos off, and that might just be enough to get him much closer. So that's another one that has a chance here. And then there's Jonathan, only run 8 Yaraf Singh. Tristan Godden takes the ride. Another one that's not too far off with the best 798 and 772 on the bat figures. So you can see why in this race I prefer the first 3, to be quite honest with you. But if that doesn't happen, then there's quite a few others here with chances. So what I've done here is I've gone 5, 12 and 8 in my bipot, and that would be Seen the Light, Just a Guy thing in Pacific Winter, and then I've also got in the bigger one Jonathan and Duran. And it doesn't stop there for the pick 6. I've gone 5, 12, 8, 6, 13, and also in the bigger perm 10, 7 and 11, which is the other little stars here: Bright Flame from Cliffy Miller, Rocket Fire that I've just told you that's got the best blue bat, with Gumere taking the ride, and Precious Love, Tinny Prinsloo. So 16 to 1, 6 to 1 and a 16 to 1. That's the 3 that gets added in the bigger perm. Pick 6 will pay today, my guess 200k plus. In the 6 we do have a greenie in the form of To The Max. A little bit of a concern for me for Dean Cannemer. That's not in the best of form I've seen the stable in. He's taken 6 runs since his last run. Keegan the Melo is funny enough not around today, so Raymond Danielson is taking the ride, and he is a greenie, and he did make his 15 greenie points out of the 20, so that's why he became a greenie. And I think between him and Irish Pearl, you've got 2 very strong runners, and maybe throw in Miss Caruso as well, which is my friend Mr. Jacobs. Again, to the winning place on the trainer, 11%, and an additional 33% on the places, but he has a 100% place record on the horse, on Miss Caruso. So 12 to 1 shot here is also a nice little addition. So that's what I've gone with 8, 3 and 6 in my last leg of the bipot, and I've gone 8, 3 and 6 in my PA as well, and I've added the 10 Rachel, because I love to add the best bat 42 and the best bat curve here. So I've gone a bit out of the algorithms, which also has Noble Princess and Capriccio, and I've added the Noble Princess and Capriccio in the bigger perm 7 and 4 here. So 8, 3, 6, 10, 7 and 4, which is the same as what the algorithms is sort of here. Um, then, moving on to the 7th race, Global Ash is, with the ranking averages, the best in the field. He's got 2.45 with the second best only being a 4.5. So Royce Psycho being the second best, but concerns being last leg of the jackpot, concerns being backing a favourite in the last leg of the jackpot, concerns being Alison Wright has 2 horses in second and third rated on the T curve. So I'm not 100% convinced whether we will see the ability of Global Ash, purely because South African racing is like that. And on top of that, the fact that Lyle Hewitson doesn't take the ride, Sean Veal takes the ride, and Lyle Hewitson has been the jockey when the horse has been performing. Sean Veal's not been on the horse. So from an ability perspective, Global Ash should win this race, but from an intentions perspective, this is Crooked South Africa, and we might see him running last today so that Hewitson can get a better price on him the next time when Lyle is on board. And that's just the reality of the fact, and the data is there to support it day in and day out. So Royce Psycho, my second choice with Ashton Aries, and third choice is the two of us with Badenhorst and Wright, and then the next best, the Appeal. So I've gone against where the algorithm's saying I'm 8 is enough for the PA. I've actually said, well, and the pick six just says 8 and 10 as far as the algorithms is concerned. But because it's the last leg of the jackpot, I've actually gone 8, 7, 10, 5 in the PA, and I've gone 8, 7, 10, 5, 2 in the pick six. And if you throw out Global Ash, then there's a lot of runners that actually has a chance, and it is the last leg of the jackpot, and it's the what I call the reconciliation leg, because it reconciles everything: the pick six, jackpot 1, jackpot 2, and the PA. So 11, 9, 4, and 3 is my bigger perm in brackets as well. I think you could even do something more by adding the 1 King Julian, so that if Global Ash does win, you at least double up on your pick six, because that's probably worthwhile to do that if Global Ash does win, because if nothing is untoward about South African racing in this specific race, then Global Ash should be winning this race. And then moving on to the very last race, yet Canamere's other runner, Ferrari Ice, Transonic, Miss Charlotte, False Power. I've gone those 4, 13, 4, 8, 3 as the only runners in my pick six. That's it from me, guys. I do hope that helps, and have a great day's racing.